Hi and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna make you guys a healthy recipe, or like a vegan gluten-free healthy recipe. A healthy vegan gluten-free cookie recipe. This is, I think, hands down the best cookies ever. I love them. I hope you will love them because these are revolutionary. So let's get into how I make them. First off, I've set my oven till 175 Celsius or 350 Fahrenheit. And then whilst the oven gets warm, I will make the cookies. So what I start off with is that I have all my ingredients set ready. Then I put 2.5 deciliter of almond flour, and then I put 2.5 deciliter of oat flour. And then once that is put into the bowl, I will put half a teaspoon of baking soda, half a teaspoon of baking powder, and I will also put in a pinch of Himalayan salt. I'll just mix all my dry ingredients together. Now, whilst all my dry ingredients have been mixed together, we're gonna move over to the stove and melt the coconut oil together with the sugar. I personally like to use either brown sugar or coconut sugar. And coconut sugar also keeps your blood sugar levels more steady, so you don't feel like you're crashing or like get a boost of energy and then crashing afterwards. But it will keep you steady, and also with the fat that is in this, which is a healthy fat, and together with the almond flour, which also has loads of healthy fats in it, you will get a really nice full sensation after you eat it. So you can't really munch on 15 cookies, or like, I don't think anyone does that. If you will get very full after one or maybe two, and then you're satisfied, you don't want any more, which is a good thing, I think, because I could easily eat so much of this because it's so nice. But yeah, let's make it over to the stove. So what I start with is putting the coconut oil into the saucepan and let it completely melt. Once it's melted, I will pour the sugar in and stir around and leave it in for maybe a minute or two until it's a nice texture and is nicely combined. So now that the oil and sugar has melted in together, I will pour this into my dry ingredients, and then I will put in 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. I will just pour it into the lid and then into the batter like that. So now that that is mixed in together or put on top of the dry, it doesn't look very aesthetically appealing, so I will quickly just mix this in together. I'm just roughly mixing that in, and then this is a little bit too dry as it's supposed to be, because now that that is somewhat mixed in, we will also pour in 3 tablespoons of almond milk, and of course the chocolate chip as well. So I'm just getting my almond milk. I personally like the unsweetened almond milk the best. I think that the sweetened tastes a bit like, it tastes like a synthetic sweetener, which I don't appreciate. So I prefer the unsweetened, and as well when it's so much sugar in this recipe as well, like it's sweet enough as it is. So I put in 3 tablespoons, but feel free to put in more, just so that it still has a dry or like not dry consistency, but you can form small cookies out of it. I need to put in a little dash more. That was probably way too much. That's okay. Or actually, this seems pretty perfect. So okay, put in 4 tablespoons, 4 to 5 tablespoons. Start off with 3. I feel like this recipe, like the measurements in this is like sometimes it's enough with 3, other times you need 4. This was probably 5 because I just poured it out of this instead. So this is a bit too wet, but we're just gonna roll with it. That's fine. So 4 tablespoons and you're good. But now I'll pour in my chocolate chip. You can also, if you're not vegan, you can just use normal chocolate chip. I like the milk, or like not dark and not white chocolate, but like the middle milk, but it's still vegan, so I don't know, not the darkest. And then I'll just mix this in again. I have like such a passion to find healthier options to unhealthy stuff, or unhealthy stuff, which is more just finding options that give you a little bit more nutrition or vitamins and minerals, and still you can still eat like snacks and treats and all that stuff, but just as a healthier option rather than like buying store made. And I'm also gluten allergic, so it's not that simple, especially not in UK or where I live. We don't have like a huge variety. I know that other parts of England it's like huge aisles with so much options. I don't have that, but I appreciate it in a way, because then I can make it myself and I can put everything that I know is good for me into it, rather than buying something pre-made and like not knowing what exactly is in it, if it's like huge amounts of oil or salt or sugar. Now I have more control. So now I'll just form small balls around on my tray. I'm not completely sure how many cookies this make. I think it's like around 10, depending on how big or small you like them. And one thing that I find with this is that normal cookie dough, you can just form it into like round balls, and then in the oven they'll melt and like become cookies. I find that with the gluten-free ones, that doesn't really work. So you do need to like push them down a little bit to form the cookie. Okay, it will be 11 cookies, I reckon. So bad at placing cookies around the sheet. I like start with 3 and then everything is like perfectly aligned, and then it always end up with like not being like an odd number. Or now that they're all placed, I'll just push them down a little bit to like form like a little bit more of a cookie form. And then once that's done, once all of them have been pushed down, they will go in the oven for 12 to 13 minutes. I like to just have a look at them as well, because when they're golden, then they're ready. So maybe your oven is more powerful or less powerful than mine is. So always just keep an eye out, just so that you don't end up with burnt cookies. And then once they're done, then you'll just let them rest for 15 minutes before you eat them. But it's so nice when they're fresh out of the oven and they're still a little bit warm, like lukewarm after 15 minutes. Okay, so now that they're all ready, I'll put them in the oven. My necklaces, they get always so warm every time I open the oven. Whew. They will bake in the oven for 12 to 13 minutes, and then once they're done, I'm gonna show you the final result. Okay, so the timer is done. I take out the cookies and they look amazing. I'm so excited for you guys to try this recipe out, because it tastes amazing. They're so golden brown, perfectly how I want them to be. So now they will rest for 15 minutes. I need to set a timer. Okay, the 15 minutes is done and I'm so excited to get into this. I think maybe I took them out like a minute too soon, but this, oh, can you focus? Is the cookies. They're so perfect. They are crunchy on the top and then soft in the middle, or like at the bottom, because they were resting on the warm tray, which doesn't make sense of me to do that, otherwise they would have been crispy all around. But oh, look at this. This is perfection. I'm so excited to try this. You guys need to try this recipe. It's so good. I hope you really liked this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up, and also remember to subscribe because it really supports my channel. And also, if you try this cookie recipe, then please leave a comment and say what you thought about it. I will put the recipe in the description bar below, or description box below. So just look out for it there, and then I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. Thank you so much for watching, and I see you next time. Bye!